All right, I am now recording. So for anyone listening slash watching, this is Francis, part of the ULTRAKILL team. Super
Hi.
excited to have you. First Ultra Charity, we had you had a read along interview with you, but I'm super happy that
Yep.
we have you in person or
I
person as
was
it can be
too
this
I was
time.
too nervous last time. I think over the course of like meeting different developers in different countries, I got less insecure about my accent and such.
Yeah, no, and it's fine. I'm really excited to, get your voice out there and have you just part of this again. Like I'm excited to have everyone part of it again.
Yeah, me
It
too. I've
makes
been
me really
looking
happy.
forward to this.
So before we get, too deep into anything, could you just tell us just what you do for Ultra Kill?
Mm, I'm I work on honestly anything 2D. Like, I think most people's perception of the job is concept art and texture, but for Newball, I do merch art, I do promo art, I do holiday art. I basically do anything they want me to. So it's a position with a lot of flexibility.
Oh wow. Yeah, so see, I didn't even know that you did so much other stuff for New Blood. So that's really cool that you're just kind of all over the place and can kind of just do what you like,
My
whatever
hands are
whatever.
in
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's super cool. So
And,
yeah, no, did you want to say something?
oh no, it's fine.
Yeah. So I guess my next question is what's kind of your art background and like the history of like all of your art and kind of how you got to where you are now?
I did. I basically self-learn all of this, except for my high school 3 years. I was in a sort of trade school
Mhm.
where they specifically tell you industry things. But most of the time, especially for working artists, you really have to grind to that point, basically by yourself. Even if you go to any sort of like training courses, you still have to draw it. So and for game art, I was in the 3 year I was in high school. I went to a sort of outsourcing studio here in Taipei, but I failed the score so bad. I didn't think I would make it into a gaming industry at all.
Wow, that's a pretty crazy story, honestly. Like just kind of
My
teaching yourself from scratch, and then just, I mean, you're
Yeah, my
seeing
game
how it
director,
is.
my game director told me that he didn't think I would make it because the
What?
the level of skill, they no, that's the thing about our school is that they really do not sugarcoat it like how college might be. In my opinion, they basically tell you directly in your face how it's gonna be.
Wow.
So it's very different experience from the kind people I knew. But
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad they were all wrong because your art is gorgeous. I love every piece. Um,
Thanks.
so how long have you been with Ultra Kill and New Blood at this point?
I think it's 2 years now. It's so fast. It was like I think right after Minos Prime release. But because the work itself is like pretty blurry since I got axed into the dev team via fan art and whatnot, so
Yeah.
it's not as clear cut.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a weird like kind of doing art for Ultra Kill, and then they're just
Yeah,
at one point like, "Hey, you just want to do art for Ultra Kill?"
it's it's kind of crazy because nowadays I get people who's like, do you know anyone on Ultra Kill? And it doesn't really. I still haven't comprehend just how big the project has gotten over the years.
Yeah. So I guess kind of just moving on cuz that that was a lot of like your history with stuff, which is super awesome to
Yes.
hear, especially the whole like kind of just going from drawing Ultra Kill art for fun to drawing Ultra Kill art and New Blood stuff for
Yeah.
work, which is
Oh.
like amazing. That's so awesome to hear. Is there like any favorite thing you've worked on? Like maybe not even art piece per se, but just like a favorite
Oh yeah.
thing in
I,
general that comes to mind right away that you've worked on with Ultra Kill.
yes, actually, I specifically asked Hakita so I can say this. The thing I worked on like last week is my favorite piece yet, and I don't think I can say this super clear, but uh, it's like something that used to be my own, and now it's going to be added to the game in the future. I'm super
Wow.
excited.
That's super cool. That's very awesome to hear. That I'm excited to see it. You'll have to
Now people has to listen to my interview to know this.
I know. I know, like it's funny because like Akita brought that up. He's like, oh, like we might be dropping the update around then, so like maybe it's gonna be kind of weird for the interviews, but we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I was like,
Yep.
okay, whatever. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, that's super awesome to hear. I'm really excited to see whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess I'll kind of spin the question a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a favorite piece you finished that you can talk about?
Um, I think honestly, a lot of people might expect me to say Ferryman because that's probably the most iconic one out of all my work so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think the current one might be the two prime bosses human portrait because as you know, Osaka isn't really a game that's known for its human character. It's
Yeah.
more for the whole alien landscape. But I
Mm-hmm.
think for me to be able to like draw a visual that's really fitting to Akira's vision and is still human,
Yeah.
I think that's a very special experience in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're definitely two, like the human primes that are definitely like very, I guess, stand out amongst
Mm-hmm.
everything else in the game. Because yeah, like you said, it's a lot of machines, a lot of very industrial stuff, and then you kind of just have these
Yes.
two relatively normal things that still,
Mm,
I'll say, still fit in like perfectly. So.
especially, I think part of the fun of the job is that, especially with Imp, the other artist,
Hmm.
his style is very, very, how do I say it? Like uncanny in a good way for the vibe Ultrakill has to go for, and trying to find an art style that fits in with that while still maintaining coherent in your own style is like really important
Hmm.
for doing what we do in this work.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm not an artist myself, so I wouldn't know. So like this insight's really interesting to hear to me. Let's see. So the next question I have for you, kind of still going off of I guess
Yes.
the next few questions, like just to give you a little like
Yeah, I think these are fun.
pre I guess heads up of questions. The next kind of things are like kind of just it's all kind of like personal experiences with the stuff you've
Hmm.
made. But what's and I guess you kind of just maybe answered it, but what's the most challenging thing you've worked on for Ultra Kill so
Oh,
far?
actually, I think actually the one that got me the longest might I want to say beam cutter, but I think it might actually be the pillow because because that was my first time actually working with Hakita, and for anyone who hasn't worked with Hakita before, you should. I think usually people expect it to be like, oh, an art director give you like a red circle on specific spot,
Yeah.
and yeah. Hakira doesn't work that way. We work in a way that he tell you to vibe through it. And I think It's really funny because that's basically the opposite of what my training in the. I think I was going for AA or triple A, and that was the training opposite of what I was told. And it took I think 2 or 3 work really maybe up until the prime boss's portrait to really get how to work with different developers, especially since New Blood doesn't have like a clear cut manager system.
Yeah.
I guess it's gonna block me.
No. That sounds about right. Just vibe with it.
He's very no, he tells you to vibe through it, but he has to be very specific to the vision.
Yeah.
So like a piece detail can go through maybe like 2 or 3 hours of fixes on that specific detail,
Mhm.
while the other large part of the canvas are fine. It's something like that.
Oh, okay. I kind of get what you're getting at. And I'm sure,
Mhm.
other artists will definitely understand what you're talking about better than I am. But yeah, I'm definitely getting the vague idea of what you're talking about. All right. Next question, and I guess maybe a similar along kind of a similar line, but is there something in particular that you worked on that just felt really good to finally see in the game itself? Like, I'm sure it's kind of different, working on it in
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know the art workflow, unfortunately, but whatever art program and seeing it there, I'm sure it's pretty different from
Mhm.
that to then actually seeing it in game. So was there anything that you worked on, and then once you saw it in game, you were just like, wow, that I'm really happy with how that turned out?
I think for me that was Ship of Fools because for models, especially enemy models, the whole thing is that they're kind of a single thing, like uh, but as a stage, you walk around in it, and the whole geometry pretty much has to make you immerse in the vibe of the game itself,
Mhm.
and trying to connect the texture work with the entire level design. I think it's a different feeling, and it makes me feel really accomplished when I see that people are actually running inside these wall and ground and water and whatnot, the things that we did over the few months that Wrath was underway.
Yeah. And yeah, that's definitely something that like I definitely 100% know what you're talking about on that one because
Mhm.
I'm a level designer also, so like kind of seeing the textures and then like seeing all of them kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
meld
yeah.
together and actually becoming this like alive environment is such a cool feeling. And I'm
Mhm.
sure it's even more cool to see like all these different textures you made that if you're looking at all these textures on a sheet or whatever, they don't look
Yeah, it's
they
just a PNG.
yeah, exactly. And then you see it on all this different, geometry and stuff, and it
Yeah, with
all
the
of a sudden
lighting
it's
off.
alive. Like it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so cool, so cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm super glad you got to, experience and feel that. It's super
yeah.
awesome. Um so maybe this will go kind of along with the most challenging, but what's taken you the longest to finish?
Oh, that's definitely the beam cutter because I didn't came from I don't know, they don't really tell you prop design that much in class.
Mhm.
And on my time I'm more known for drawing human anatomy and whatnot. So that was really just outside of the comfort zone I was in. And although it got cancelled, but I think in general, people can still see how many thumbnails I went through, and I usually only go through 2 or 3 at
Mhm.
most. So that's really good practice. compared to what I usually used to working on ULTRAKILL.
Cool. Let's see here. I'm kind of losing my track in the questions. Sorry. Oh yeah, I almost just asked you the same exact thing twice. Okay, yeah, this is one I'm actually super interested in.
Mhm.
You know, the last time we talked was 2 years ago for Ultra Charity, so a lot of
Yeah.
time has passed, and I'm sure you've grown a lot as an artist, and I mean we all
Mhm.
grow as we over time in whatever our craft is. But is there anything that you look at now that you wish you could do again now that with the experience and everything that you've gained?
Oh, I want to redo. The portrait in Ferryman's room really bad. It's like it's especially now that I've painted a lot more and my art style become way more detailed and dedicated. And you can see through my line art progression, the cloth folding on that portrait really bothers me because I finished that painting in like an hour or an hour and a half at most. So it's kind of really just a sketch for me, and I wish I put through more effort inside that portrait, even though it will get crunched down regardless through the pixelated filter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I was kind of surprised you had such a quick answer. It's really interesting to me that like that was obviously something that's just like burning in the back of your mind like, "Oh my god, I wish I could change that so bad."
That's the character that was associated with me the most
Yeah.
by far. Maybe until like mannequin, but yeah.
um all right, so the next few questions are going to be more maybe not so much Ultra Kill related.
Mhm.
It's more towards your just and I'm actually going to throw an extra one in here cuz I'm
Okay.
curious about it. Um but this is yeah. So any other projects you're working on right now that you feel really passionate about, either whether it's personal or not, just anything really.
Honestly, I think with most of with the by workload wise, I think I'm most passionate about Fallen Aces right now because that's really a project where I'm the pretty much the art lead in, and working with different type of style New Blood is used to because New Blood is very like 90s monster and demons oriented where you can go really far away, straight really far away from what's a normal design for human per se. And Fallen Aces is a game that you have to fit in a specific time period, and it's like really, and it's pretty testing to just how much research and your skills on different type of people, how they look like, how they dress like by their work, by their different association and whatnot. And that's a really fun different challenge from Ultra Kill, where you have to pretty much throw all of that out uh to create this sort of hellscape environment that you're in.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that you one that you kind of get to, challenge yourself with that kind of project, but two that you're
Mhm.
just like it sounds like you're really able to express yourself in that one. And it
Mhm.
sounds like you're having a great time with it. So that's awesome to hear. Really happy to hear
Mhm.
that you're enjoying your work everywhere. That's really great to hear that.
Yeah. It's like definitely like keeping that sort of different art styles between different projects is like a major point to prevent burnout for me because I know that's how a lot of people kind of get stopped in between like hobbyist artists and working artists. So just the fact that you can kind of basically cleanse your palette and and have these different very opposite ended things to switch between is pretty much burnout preventing in my case.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that because, the last thing I want for anyone working, anyone, period, is to experience that burnout because I know I've definitely felt it and it's rough. It's not fun. So I'm really happy to hear that you're getting all of this different variety and it's kind of preventing it from happening at all. That's amazing. So here's a question that I didn't send before. I definitely thought about this while we were just talking. But what's your favorite medium to use to draw? Is there anything that you just really like doing that maybe you don't get to do as much anymore?
Oh, actually, no. I'm a pretty exclusive digital artist because I get nervous. You can kind of tell through it. I get nervous really easily, and that means a lot of hand sweat, and that's a really bad thing. That's a really bad thing in traditional media because with pencil it gets smeared with oil
Yeah.
canvas. Yeah, and the thing about digital art in the past 5 years is that it kind of replicates so good of traditional media. You can definitely replace it now, even though people were like, it still has a special feeling to it. But in reality, for a lot of the work requirement, it doesn't really have to have that specific texture when you can apply different resources and stuff on top of your brush and technique and whatnot to just cover for the digital look that people might other professional might notice, but regular people won't. So yeah, so it's kind of a thing where like where I think it's just a new way for a way more accessible new way for artists to explore and way more accessible than the amount of digital tools, the amount of traditional oil painting and whatnot you have to buy, which can really, really stack up the cost over per project.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that answer. That's a really cool answer to hear. Again, I'm not an artist. I am very not an artist, and that's really cool insight to hear because I, as someone that does not do art, I didn't know that digital art has come so far. So that's really cool to hear, especially from the point of view from someone who does it so much and makes these like gorgeous paintings in ULTRAKILL all digitally. Like that's awesome. That's super awesome to hear.
Yeah, it's a long way. I've started drawing in 2010, so it's changed a lot over the years.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. Um I guess and feel if another I'm gonna pop up another question on you because just hearing I love hearing about your personal experience. And feel free not to answer. But what kind of things do you normally like to draw? Like in your free time?
I don't think I can say this.
Yeah, I because I know what you like to draw.
Yeah, but a more I think realistic answer is that I honestly really like drawing comics and because the type of it's different from storyboard because storyboard is a one panel at a time, but for comic you have to really understand the layout and the flow, and especially if it's between character dynamics because you have to mostly write these for yourself. The way you frame a shot and the way you position even their speech bubbles will clearly tells me how well you understand how to compose a flow of a scene. And it's really obvious when a comic doesn't, just like a cursing, it's really obvious when a cursing kind of just linger on a person's face for too long, and you're kind of awkward. And so understanding that really nuanced take of what's natural is really fun for me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that answer. I know that, especially since I do know what you like to draw. I knew that was kind of a iffy question,
Yeah.
but that was a really awesome answer to hear. Like again, I'm not an artist, so getting this kind of insight on things like that's very very interesting to hear, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. That's not stuff I think about when I'm looking at like comic panels or anything like that. So
Yeah.
hearing all those things, it's like, oh yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like the position of the speech bubble probably is pretty important, and it's just something that I'm sure other people that aren't artists don't think about at all when it's actually super important. So yeah,
It's like
thank you
if
very much.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this next question is the next I guess the next kind of things are I guess questions to help they are the questions I gave you. I'm not I think those are all the surprises I have for you, but questions to help other artists, I guess. Especially
Mm-hmm.
maybe people that are not as familiar with art programs that may want to get
Oh
into it.
yeah.
Because I know ULTRAKILL has been a huge inspiration for tons of people in all sorts of different crafts and hobbies. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, these are kind of questions just for people that may be inspired by your work and the work of others in ULTRAKILL. But do you have any programs or tools you'd recommend?
I pretty much only use Clip Studio, and it's the UI. The UI pretty much with all sorts of art program take some time to get used to. But I think with the specificality, like all the different really niche tools, Clip is the most complete by far. And
Awesome.
oh, do you want me to like say tips to the beginner artist or?
Yeah, that was actually gonna be the next question. Just like any parting words or advice for people. I mean, I guess that's kind of two closing questions, but yeah, let's just start with just any advice for
No,
artists
yeah.
that have been inspired by you, or just love the work you've done in ULTRAKILL in general.
Okay, don't actually. It's kind of going against the grain of a lot of the art community, but there's a thing where people really often emphasize on don't rely too much on your brush, but I think that's kind of not true, because when you think about it, you're not gonna, especially on traditional media, you're not gonna just use an HB pencil from day one to the end of the day, especially when you're dealing with something else, and you need that efficiency, and testing different brushes and medium in digital canvas is really really easy to pull you out of that burnout a lot of people experience. Sometimes all you need really is just a different brush feel on your hand, because you've been seeing the same textured jagged line for too long, and a different feeling would just pull you out of that sort of mind fog. So shall I say?
Yeah, no, that was I completely get what you're saying, and that's not even something that I think applies to just art. Like I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that myself, because I've been a little burned out in level design and just game design in general. So it's like, oh,
It's not
this kind
why
of
I
talks like, oh,
think,
maybe I could just try a
yeah,
different engine. Like it's so super different, but it's the same thing that I
it's
love. So
pretty good to just keep two or three small things around, when you can switch between different pages or projects or whatnot, and you're not like overwhelmed in a single big thing. Like you're just dunking 20 hours in this art, and you don't have anything else to do draw, so you just carve really deep in the details that you might not like later, and you're gonna paint over anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for that answer. And just so you know, like this has all been amazing. I loved getting to hear you, like obviously loved having you just like write your answers just so we could have you part of the event first Ultra Charity, but this like I can feel you just kind of like going off and talking, going and going, and I love it. I love to hear it. It's one of my favorite parts about having everyone.
One of the thing about my training back in art school is that you develop this really customer service response to especially art shows where art directors might actually come to your booth to look at you. And so I think this type of interview really freed me from that formula.
Oh well, it makes me so happy to hear that you feel that you can just answer these questions honestly. You don't gotta do some cookie cutter answer for all this. So I'm really glad I could give you this opportunity, and that everyone has given me this opportunity to put on Ultra Charity, because even though people will thank me for it, it's not me. It's all of you that make it possible in the first place. It's all of your hard work.
Thank you.
I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say thank you for your hard work on ULTRAKILL and just everything that you do and all the projects you work on, and you all of you devs breathe life into the game. So
I think this is a really community-driven game, and without this type of enthusiastic people behind all of these events, like the charity and just even fan content in general, I think ULTRAKILL wouldn't be the same without all these supportive fans.
Yeah, I agree totally, and it's kind of one of those like feedback things. You all work so hard for us, and then the fans give back what they can. But yeah, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. Do you have any parting words or anything like that?
Oh, I actually don't know if I can say the update thing. But I'm really happy that I got on this interview in person, and really I'm looking forward to the reaction toward violence and the upcoming music release, because I'm working on the covers again.
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to see that.
I'm gonna be on, I think pretty much music covers. So I'm excited to see what people think about it, and I'm glad to be chatting, like pretty much just not following a script on this interview.
Yeah, I'm very happy I could provide that, because that's exactly how I want it. I want it to just be kind of just like a little sit down hangout. Nothing stressful. Nothing where we gotta.
It's a Discord call.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you so much, Francis,
Thank you.
for everything, and thank you, Ultra Charity viewers, for being here. Donate to charity.